Hello, lovely people. What is this? Let's talk a little bit about supertweeters. So if you watched any of my previous videos, when I did like any tuning with this Alpine status system, I did mention that these tweeters, they don't like to play very, very high. They play up to like 14, 15K, and then they kind of roll off and drop off. Now, a super tweeter, kind of by definition, is a tweeter that plays extremely high frequencies. Usually they use them for like playing above 20K, 20, 30, 40. So for that, you need kind of, I don't want to say special tweeter, but kind of special tweeter, because a normal tweeter doesn't play that high. So you would be looking for beryllium tweeters or ribbon tweeters, because those can play up to like 40 or 50K. Now, I'm not talking here about like my ability to hear above 20K. What I want to do with this, so this is a typical home audio tweeter. It is an SB Acoustics, come on, focus. Yeah, SB19. This tweeter costs about 15, 20, 25 pounds. It's a super cheap tweeter, but it's good. And according to the data sheet, the response on axis directly, it goes all the way up to 30K. After it goes up to 20K flat, and after 20 kind of drops a little bit. When I did these measurements of the Alpine status tweeters, and I'm going to show you probably in the response, that they drop off as if they would have a 17K low pass filter. And the purpose of this experiment is I'm going to install them like this, just temporary. So this is just literally with brackets into the window bolt, and I'm going to have exactly the same for the other side. I just need to remove that little triangle and just put it there. And the purpose of this is, so I know that my hearing goes up to like 17K or something. Above that, I don't hear much. However, I want to see if there would be a difference if I would have that top end extension. So I will let the status drivers play as high as they play, and I'm gonna cross these probably at something like 17K. So it is extremely high, 17K up to wherever they're gonna measure, probably 20, 25K or whatever. And for me is just to see if I can hear the difference with the extended top end that is above like 70K, or I won't be able to tell the difference while playing music. Now, I'm not going to be testing on sine tones. I'll be playing actual music, and with Helix DSP, which has a cool feature where you have buttons to press, like depending on the channels, and it enables and disables the channels. So I do have 2 spare channels on my amplifier and the DSP. I will be connecting the wires directly to these, cross them at 17, probably no EQ needed, nothing. I will take the measurements. I'm going to show you the measurements and everything. But first, I just need to fit this one as well, because I did only one side for now. I need to do the second side. And then I'm going to measure them, cross them accordingly, measure the sum of these two, timeline them, and then listen and basically toggle them on and off, and see if there is actually a difference in music perception. Can you tell the difference of such high frequencies playing? And this is not for you, this is for me personally, because the high frequency perception is like very individual, because every person hears up to a certain frequency. If you're younger, if you're like in your 20s, you can hear probably up to 18K and higher. If you're kind of older than me, if you're like 50 or 55 or whatever, probably is like down to 10, 11, 12K, and you're not gonna hear it. So this is just for me. And this title, super tweeters, I don't know, people install them in very different ways. They can put them like in A pillars very high. They can put them somewhere there to fire from the glass. But for me, it's just literally to see, am I missing out by having these tweeters? Do I miss that extra information that's going to be provided by this one? And yeah, I'm going to share the results. So yeah, let me install them, then measure them, tune it, timeline, and then listen and see what we can hear and if we can hear anything. Okay, everything is installed, everything is measured. I'm going to show you the measurements. I have the mic here, everything is there. I think let's go through the measurements first, and I'm going to tell you what I heard and what I didn't hear. So I'm just going to show you with the phone. It's going to be much easier with less editing. So this is my status tweeters, and you can see they play like up to 13, 14, and then they roll off. Now I installed the SB, which are these ones. So this is the left one, right? That's a bit dark. So that's the response, and you can see it has all the extension up to 20K because this microphone measures only up to 20K. I would need to get an XLR microphone if you want to measure higher. So this is the left one, and this is the right one, which is here. So you can see I have everything is fine. I think on the right one, this dip might be a reflection from the glass that's coming there. Maybe, but it doesn't really matter. So let me remove the status. Okay, so these are SB, and both of them play all the way up to 20K. The level drops a bit, but it's fine. When I cross them at, where did I cross them? I crossed them at 17K. Here, 70,000 hertz. When you cross them like this, you get left and right. So now obviously the level is a bit too low, so I had to boost the level, and I did left and right. So this is with the boosted levels. Where is it? Here you can see one I boosted 5 dB and the other one something. So even like with these massive 5 dB boost is still fine because it's very high frequencies, and the crossover cuts a lot of energy anyway, so it's not a problem at all, and it's just for testing anyway. And I ended up this, so the left and right, and now status left and right. So it was like this, and basically I filled up the top end, and when they sum after the time alignment left, and I lost my mouse, right, there we go. So basically I have all the way up to 20K. Before I had this, they were falling off, and now I have all the way up to, so this is a little bit of peak, but it doesn't really matter. But basically, measurement wise, I have all the way up to 20K. Now the question is, what did I hear, and did I hear a big difference? No. Basically on music, while music was playing, so let me show you how I toggle them. If you go to Helix, so Helix DSP has a very cool software. You have all these like channels, and these channels are represented here. And here, what you can do, if you count them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for me, the channels were 7 and 8. And if I press the number 7, it doesn't mute now. There we go, 7. This one 7. Sorry, not the F, but these 7 and 8. So 7. Let me remove it. 7. See. Mute, unmute, 8, mute, unmute. And if I press them together, 7 and 8, mute, 7 and 8, unmute, mute, unmute. So basically, this is how I was checking. I was basically playing music and just clicking those two, mute and mute, close my eyes and everything and that kind of stuff. And on music, I personally didn't hear a difference. The only difference that I did able to hear, this is not my cat, this is my neighbor's cat. The only difference that I did able to hear is while playing pink noise and white noise. Then the difference is substantial and is good. And if you're like asking what I was playing mainly the AMA tracks, which I have in kind of high res, and it was through Bluetooth, but Bluetooth we know that it goes all the way up to 20K because the pink noise, this one that was measured, was played through Bluetooth as well. So the response is from the phone. So I know it plays, everything is fine. But I did hear a difference playing pink noise and white noise. But me personally, with my ears and with my system, I didn't hear a difference on music. Now, maybe if you play like something with extremely a lot of high frequency content and you would be really concentrated, maybe you would be able to hear it, but I don't know. I didn't hear anything. So yeah, it was a fun experiment, fun to test, but now I know that this drop off at the higher frequencies, for me personally, in my system, not a problem at all. I don't need any super tweeters. Maybe if they would be like off axis and they would be falling off like a 10K, then yes, then I would be able to hear a difference. But now, because like, even if you take the higher frequencies, like what? Like here we have 17K. So 17K is like the upper limit of my hearing. And the difference is like what? 5 dB difference between this level and this. So 5 dB less, you can still hear it. It's just not as loud. So yeah, fun experiment. If you have any experience with super tweeters, please comment below, because it would be very interesting to hear. But in my system, I do not need super tweeters or tweeters that play higher than the status. So I will be happy as I am right now. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.